Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today I'm doing a Queen & Co project using a real fun shape shaker kit. It's called Summer, and summer is definitely here. We've been running the air conditioning nonstop, but this is the kit. The nice thing about the shape shaker kits is they come in their own storage package. I love that about that. In fact, I had just ordered one more of the NV binders because I really like how they look and how they store. You just punch out the holes that are just ready to go for you, and then you place it in your binder, and it just makes everything nice and tidy, and I like that. And I'll leave links below for you in case you're interested in the NV binders. They come in a rainbow of colors too. But now this is your shape shaker kit. You get 3 dies. You get a beach ball here, and then you get the foam shaker that goes along the inside, and then in this kit you also get a real pretty kite, and then you get the foam shaker shape that fits right in there. You just punch out the center. Everything's cut for you. Makes everything so easy, boy. And then you get your glasses. These ones are so super cute. And again, you just punch out. I'm going to put them on a piece of an A2 size card base. That way you can see the scale of them. They're perfect for card making. But for the glasses, again, you just punch out the center pieces, and then you're ready to fill with your favorite toppings, and you're all set. Now this kit comes with 3 shaker shapes, 1 for each, or 3 for each of the dies that you get. So you get the beach ball, 3 of the kites, and then 3 of the glasses. It also comes with 3 acetate sheets that are pre-cut for you. It just makes making shakers so super easy, and I really like that about Queen & Co. So those are your acetate covers. Okay, now we're going to be making 3 cards today using each one of these elements. So we're going to start off with the glasses. Now I'm going to grab a piece of white cardstock, and I'm actually going to cut out 8 glasses using the white cardstock. And then you can see here too, I also used some silver mirror cardstock for my stash, and I cut out a pair of silver glasses. Next I have a panel here. Now this panel is 4 inches by 5, no, I'm sorry, it is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4. All I'm going to do is take my glue, and I'm going to arrange them at a diagonal all across this panel. Now, normally I like to use the Queen & Co's clear sheer glue. It works fantastic, and it dries clear. The Nuvo Deluxe adhesive dries clear too, but my sheer glue just seemed to disappear. Queen & Co's packaging is pink, and both of my daughters have a pink obsession, and they've actually been making a lot of slime lately, and I think that's what they used it for. So I gotta get me some more of that. But anyway, that's my little sheer glue story. But I'm just layering them all together. Any excess pieces, I filled in the extra gaps and trimmed off the excess. So that's my background panel, and I love the texture that this is going to give. Now next I'm going to be using my Simple Stripes matte stack here, and I'm grabbing a purple pattern paper, and I just cut out a small frame. I wanted to add a little bit of color to my background, and I thought this was a great way to do it. The Simple Stripes have 2 different kind of stripes. They have a two-tone, which is the one I use, and then on the reverse side is a purple and white stripe. But I just adhered that to my panel with glue, and now I'm going to remove the release paper off of my sunglasses, and I place that down. And I'm going to go ahead and glue down the inside pieces of the glasses for my shape shaker. Now for toppings today, I'm going to be using some rubble. This is neat stuff. It's this rubble has a metal hue to it. So there's silver, gold, and then all the rainbow of the colors have they look like metal, little metal rubble, I guess. But I grabbed silver and purple, and I'm kind of spreading out that purple so they actually kind of look a little bit balanced. but I filled in my little glasses there, and I think that's going to be real fun. I'll remove the release paper off of the top, and then I'll add my acetate, and it fits beautifully. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue down my silver frames right on top. Okay, next we need a sentiment. So I'm actually going to grab the Summer sentiment stamp from C&CT. I think I used this in one of my last videos, but it's a great summer theme, and boy, summer is here. We've been running the air conditioning nonstop. It is very hot outside. But so I thought I'd make some summer cards. I chose the sentiment says fun under the sun. And then I decided to use my Distress Oxide inks. This here is Wilted Violet. And then I'm going to go over the bottom portion of the sentiment with some Seedless Preserves, giving it kind of a gradient effect. And I'm just going to stamp it on some white cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and trim that out. And I just adhered that with my tape runner on my panel. I'm just going to trim off the ends. We're going to flip this over. I am going to add some foam tape behind here. And then this is going to go in the center of an A2 size card base. Lovely. Now for bells and whistles, I am going to grab some halos. These are so pretty. They come in a rainbow of color, and they have a real pretty iridescent hue to it. So I'm just going to add 3 of them to my card, just for a little extra shimmer. And I think that turns out so fun. And that finishes off my first project. Here's some close-ups. Okay, now for my second project. I have a piece of white cardstock here. Now I wanted to do a little bit of color in this background. So I grabbed some yellow stripe paper, and then I'll grab some purple, and then I think I'm going to go with the orange. And I just cut them down into strips. The top and bottom are vertical, and then the middle purple one is horizontal. I'm just going to use my tape runner and tape them down to my panel here. And then next I cut out a piece of blue vellum. Now if you don't have blue vellum, if you have a clear vellum, you could use your Distress Oxide inks to color it in. It would work the same way. But I decided to shade in my beach ball with some Distress Oxide ink. This is Broken China, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color on a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock here. Add a little bit of water to give it some interest here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my beach ball, and I'm going to die cut that out. Okay, now I decided my panel was a little bit too large, so I went ahead and used a smaller stitch rectangle die, and the size of it is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4. So we're gonna make it a smaller panel here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and attach my vellum. Now using my beach ball as a guide, I'm going to just add a little bit of glue on the inside of my vellum, and then I'll just take my craft pick and paper piece each of those beach ball elements back together. Now if you want to skip this step, you completely could and just use a circle background, because I added so many toppings that you couldn't even see that. but I just removed the release paper off of my shaker shape, placed it on the center of my vellum, and then now we're going to fill it in. To fill in my beach ball, I decided to go with some toppings that are called iridescent bubbles. They're so pretty, and I'm just going to add a variety of colors. So I added some blue, some yellow, a little bit of orange, a little bit of clear, and a little bit of purple. And you'll see here, by the time I added everything, I filled it up pretty good. Okay, I'll remove the release paper. And then I'll go ahead and add my acetate cover. And then using my glue, I'm going to go ahead and attach my beach ball. Okay, now for my sentiment, I'm going to grab the summer stamp set. And I actually grabbed the sentiment that says the sky's the limit, but it didn't go with the beach ball. So I'm going to go in and I grabbed the sentiment that says, "You are my sunshine." And I'm just going to stamp that directly on the yellow pattern paper here. Lovely. Okay, I'm just going to use my tape runner, and then I'm going to adhere this directly in the center of my A2 size card base. Lovely. Okay, for bells and whistles, I'm going to go in with some white starburst embellishments, and I'll just add 3. And that completes my second project. Here's some close-ups for this one. Okay, now we're going to move along to card number 3. We got to use the kite. Okay, so using a piece of white cardstock, I'm just going to die cut that out. And when I die cut it out, I'm going to leave it inside the white cardstock because I'm going to color in my kite with, again, some Distress Oxide inks. This is Worn Lipstick, and I don't know why I took out the center pieces. I thought I wanted to leave them white, but I ended up not using them. So using a piece of masking paper, I'm going to mask off the tail of the kite. And I'm just going to shade in the kite with a real pretty pink. And then next, I am going to leave the kite string white, but for the bows on the kite string, I wanted to use some spiced marmalade in orange. I thought that'd be a nice bright cheery color. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of color on there. And then I went ahead and punched that out. Okay, so there's my kite. Now we need a background. So for my background, I chose the blue pattern paper. And you get to see me cleaning off my craft desk. I left that in. I don't know why I did that. But I used the blue stripe pattern paper and then also the green and white stripe pattern paper. I'm just going to tape them together. And then I also cut out a panel. Now this panel is, again, 3.5 inches by 4 3/4. And I wanted a little bit of a white border on my panel. So I'm just using my pencil to mark it off, and then I trimmed it down. And I did end up trimming down that green piece a little bit more. I wanted more blue than green. So it did leave my tape runner on there. So I'm just using an eraser to remove the adhesive that my tape runner left. But okay, now I also have a sun die that I had in my stash. And so I die cut a sun using the yellow stripe pattern paper. And I just adhere that to my panel. And then you can see I also cut out 3 clouds using a die that cloud dies from my stash. And I'm just kind of arranging my scene and figuring out where I want to put my sentiment. Now for this card, I did chose the sentiment that says the sky is the limit, and it's from the same summer stamp set. I'm just going to stamp it with my VersaFine ink right below the sunshine. Okay, now we're going to arrange our little clouds. Just kind of figuring out the placement. I'll tuck one under here. I think one's going to go great there. And then I think I'm going to put one right on top of the sun. Okay, now I did tape down the two bottom clouds. And then I'm going to grab my shape shaker. And then I'm going to just remove the release paper off the back and stick it to my panel. And I thought I was going to use the inside pieces of my kite, but I think it would show the stripe paper in the background. So I ended up just taking the inside piece of the foam shaker, and then I just traced around it, and then I'm going to cut out a white panel for the inside of my shaker. I'm going to use some more of the iridescent bubbles, and I just chose pink for this one, pink and white. I'll remove the top here and add my acetate. And then I'm ready to add my kite, just using my glue. Now, I kept thinking the kite string was very detailed, and I kept thinking, well, how am I going to pop that up so it doesn't get ruined if I mail this? So my solution was, I'm going to glue down the top of my kite to my shaker, and then I removed the bottom cloud, and then I had a leftover piece of the lenses that were from my first card, so I'm going to use those to pop up this cloud and stick that to where the tail is underneath the cloud. This way the bottom portion of my kite string has a little bit of stability. And I think that's going to work out nice. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my other lens from card number 1, and I'll pop up this cloud here, and then I'm going to place that on top of my sunshine. Just trying to figure out where I want to put it. And I think there looks fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to grab my card base. Just using my tape runner, we're going to adhere that right in the center. And then I have a little bit of a cloud overhanging, so I'll just trim that down. And then that finishes off card number 3. I think it turned out real fun. Here's some close-ups. Okay, so here's a look at the 3 projects I made today using the Queen & Co.'s Summer Shape Shaker Kit. If you guys are interested, I always leave the links on my blog or down below in the description area of all the products that I use. But thanks so much for stopping by. I wish you a fantastic day. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.